is on the side flip. Alright, this trick's super easy. It's a lot easier than a front flip in my opinion, and also a back flip. So it's really easy. You just gotta keep a few things in mind. You gotta have your steps right, you gotta know how to take off, you gotta know how to tuck, and then obviously spot your ground and landing. So the first thing that we're gonna focus on is your run up. So you're gonna have some nice long run ups. So you wanna have soft grass like we have here, and nice, you gotta time your steps out right and know where you're gonna do it.
And don't try it on a hill your first couple times. You'll groove bad habits and it never ends well.
Yep, so make sure it's on flat, soft. Alright, so when you're coming in for your takeoff, you're gonna wanna picture where you're gonna take off. You don't wanna just hook it. So I'm gonna look, so say you put a stick like this down on the ground, you're gonna time your steps out so when you hit that stick, you're taking off for your side flip.
Alright, and so there are two different kinds of takeoffs you can do. You can do, well, Callum will explain the first one.
Alright, the first one I like to do is a gather step takeoff. So you're running in and your less dominant foot, or your dominant foot is coming in front of your less dominant foot, kind of like switching over, and then you bring your less dominant foot through, and then you take off like this. It's super easy. That's the way I like to do it, and here's the way that Mac likes to do it.
The way I side flip is I come in and without crossing my legs, I do a little hop step onto my less dominant foot, come down onto my dominant foot with my knees bent, and use that to spring upward.
Yeah, and there's also, if you like them, they're not good practice. It can scrape your knees and ankles, but you can also block just to know how to do the flip. So if you start out with some blocks or punches, you're going to be able to know what the rotation's like, and then you can work on your better and smoother takeoff. All right, so that being said, we got the tuck. I'm going to let Mac talk about this. He has a really clean side flip. So go about the tuck, so from when you take off.
All right, so when you take off, you want to get up into the air before you start your tuck. Otherwise, you don't get enough height and you won't land the flip. So when you come in, whether you're doing the gather step or the split step, you come in, you lift your right arm or your dominant arm up in the air. You get as high as you can. You get about almost up to the peak of your jump, and then throw this down to meet your tuck. There's two ways you can tuck. You can tuck in front of your knees, which is the more classic way, or you can tuck behind your knees, which is, it's a good way to start off, but it doesn't look quite as good.
Alright, and on that note, while you're flipping, make sure you're going over your back, which is my problem. I like to go more facing forwards than over my back, so that's why he's got a better side flip. So you're going to want to go right over your back, because if you're going to flip over people, obstacles, a table, you're not going to want to hit your head, and that's when injuries happen. So make sure you're going over your back.
Exactly.
Alright, so to put it all together, you got your takeoff line. You're coming in, and you got your steps timed out, and you're shooting your legs down. You want them nice and bent so you can get your height. And you're going to shoot up with your arm. So if you flip this way, you're going to look this way. If you're flipping to this side, then you're going to shoot up with your left arm. And then once you're at your max height, you're going to bring it in. You don't want to just bring your knees up, because you're not going to get your rotations. You want to throw this arm down and in your legs, whichever way you tuck. And then,
Now, for the landing, when you get about 2/3 of the way around your flip, you'll start to be able to see the ground in your peripheral vision. Now, you got to keep your eyes open through this entire trick. It's a bad deal to have your eyes closed because you don't land good. So when you go to land, you want to try to come down onto your less dominant foot first, just slightly before your dominant foot, and take the roll out of it between your two legs so you don't take as much impact into your knees.
Which is also why it's a nicer flip. So your eyes are open, you're watching the whole way around, you're going to see the sky, and as soon as you see the ground, open up and spot your landing.
So yeah,
that
we
being
can
said,
do some demonstrations.
We'll do a few. I'll do some of mine, he'll do some of his. You'll note that his are better than mine, but that's alright for side flips. Alright, so go ahead. Alright, and that's the side flip.
Beautiful.